Alright everyone, this is just a spoiler warning to say that we are going to be talking about the It Chapter 2 trailer today that just dropped. So we really need to warn you that we are going to be talking a lot about what we are thinking might happen. There's going to be a lot of theories, so possibly some spoilers from the book. So if you haven't read it and you're bothered about things like that, then please turn this off now. And maybe even if you haven't seen the 1990 version of It, you might want to consider also just leaving this. We don't want you to not listen, but we're very considerate and respectful, so we don't want to ruin anything for you. Thanks.
Oh, am I allowed to talk now?
Yes.
Finally! Jesus Christ. Okay, so, hello, welcome. This is Come to Get You podcast. My name is Richie Crypt, artist, writer, occasional musician. This is my beautiful wife Kelly, who's very upset and angry all the time. She's mean to me a lot lately.
Who does all the work? Okay.
But we're not here to talk about our Jeremy Kyle-like situation. We're here to talk about
It.
how few teeth kept. No, I mean, talk about the new It teaser trailer thingy that was just released. I've been over it many times, as has Kelly. You know me.
Literally frame by frame.
Frame by frame. Buckle up, fuckface. We're getting in deep.
Okay, so it dropped at about 5 p.m. for us, and there was a little countdown on YouTube and everything, and I was just sort of like, ooh. I think I was more excited for the first trailer because I wasn't expecting like when it was going to drop. So this time I wasn't in a rush to like go to YouTube or not be able to type and things like that. Right, let's just go through everything that happens then.
Yes, let's. So we got our little countdown timer, didn't we? Which reminded me a lot of the old little girl with the clown.
Oh my god, I
writing on
remember
the chalkboard.
that. That was really
That used to
scary.
get if you got up too early in the mornings in the UK.
And then that would give you nightmares, man. Why would you want to see
It was
that?
pretty creepy.
Yeah,
it was pretty creepy. I remember when I was a kid, they used to hold auditions so you could go and be that little girl. Of course, I never got through, but
You've got the hair for it now. Your hair's longer than mine.
I'm luscious.
Anyway.
Motherfucker. Anyway, so the trailer starts. The first thing you see is door 5 with the name Marsh written underneath it.
Mm-hmm. I was quite worried about this, as a lot of people probably were. It seemed to be just one full scene, like just a clip from the film. So I was sitting there wondering, like, when's it going to get to other shots of the film? And then obviously they came, so it was okay in the end. But that was kind of distracting, thinking that. I was just thinking, what have they done? Where have they done this with the trailer? But it turned out to be all right. We should trust them.
Well, I was kind of concerned because I didn't know if this was a red band trailer or a green band trailer, so I didn't know how far this was going to go with the gore and the blood and bit. I mean, there's a lot of blood in it, but in one scene in particular. So I was kind of thinking like, what am I going to see? Is this going to be particularly terrifying? Blah, blah, blah. That opening scene, very creepy.
That sold me straight away, because I was really, really hoping that they'll do the Mrs. Kirsch scene with Beverly. Because in the book, that was pretty damn weird. We have Beverly going back to her old house. Well, she's obviously back in Derry, and I guess she's gone to visit the old house to...
She's gone to get the note, the
Oh, yes,
card.
the note. Oh, that stupid bloody poem thing. I hate that. It's so cringe, Ben. Why?
Because he was a child, and he's being nice. But you do seem to have an issue with people being nice, so...
Okay,
you know.
anyway. So, she gets this note, and you get a shot of Beverly back in the bathtub when she was younger. So, I was kind of like, yay, we're going to get, like, flashbacks.
She's probably not having a wank. I don't know.
Can you stop
it's
it?
though.
No,
wanking.
they're not including that scene.
Oh, okay.
We all knew that anyway. So...
Just a bit of comedy there for you.
I immediately... Well, I mean, if you haven't read the book, obviously, if you didn't know who Mrs. Kirsch was, I think it's kind of clear already, going in blind, that there's something wrong with her. She was very off. There was a part where she reminded me of me. Because...
The bit where she runs out naked. Oh, not that bit.
When she's sitting there, like, just blanking out for a little bit, and then she sort of goes... and comes back. That's like an absent seizure. So, oh, that's me.
Yes, that's what I thought too. I made myself laugh.
You did a funny. Great.
I did a funny. During this scene, we also see Bev. She's looking at all the pictures. And at 1:46, it might just be somebody in the same sort of period dress, same sort of like Jewish period attire. I think we see the flute woman with a little girl.
I didn't even really notice that, but I hate the flute woman. I just ignore her.
But to be honest, a lot of people that during that time, when the Derry history sections of the film were kind of set, all used to dress the same, black and white photo, you can't really tell. So I could be wrong on that one. I'll happily take that as a loss. But while she's looking at these pictures...
You missed it the first time.
I did miss it the first time. The little old lady peeks around that corner. She's like, oh, what's going? And she's already in the nip. She's ready.
But Bev is just like asking her questions, and Mrs. Kirsch is like, oh yeah, my father, blah, 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 blah. And she sees a picture of her as a little girl with, obviously, Bill Skarsgård with that creepy smile with Pennywise in the background.
What I noticed
the word
in this
Pennywise, sorry.
Is that they're standing in front of a trailer. It's not the same trailer you see in the first movie. Clown design is slightly more clownish. The one in the first movie is a little bit more horrific. It's got a much smaller nose. They've got both trailers have the wonky eyes. So does Bill Skarsgård in this scene. This looks a lot more like a caravan where people would live while they were on the road, rather than, you know, the one in the first film, which is kind of like where all the actual stage prop would be set.
Just mentioning before that, when Bev is looking at the note, you see in the background the old woman sort of jolting in a weird way. It was she was kind of making a weird squelchy noise, and then moved out of the shot. So
she's
obviously
a wiggler.
There's something wrong with her. And she goes back down to sit with Bev, and you see her skin underneath her shirt is like decaying, which was in the book. She starts to decay and her hair starts going weird. Her teeth are going yellow. So I assume we'll get a shot of that at some point.
Yes, it's probably when she's running out naked, she's going to decay. We're not sure if that's a finalised effect shot yet. There may be a lot more gore and such added. You see that sort of thing a lot. Much like in the first trailer when we were like, what's that brown stuff coming out of the fucking sink?
Also, when she's sitting down, she says to Bev that, you know, nobody in Derry really dies. Things like that. And so that's a bit creepy. And obviously when it gets to the bit where Bev's like, okay, when she goes to get the cookies, that there's this whole thing that Bev has a childhood fear of Hansel and Gretel, and obviously her dad. And Mrs. Kirsch is sort of saying like, oh yeah, my dad used to say I was like his special little girl. Did your dad say that? And then that's sort of like, oh.
And also, while before that happens, the little old lady kind of like jiggles across the hallway, which made me laugh.
You kept going backwards and forwards.
I kept doing it in reverse, and it was really silly. But it's genuinely, it's kind of creepy, you know, the first time you see it. But
you know when she runs at Bev, but you only see like her legs running towards Bev? That reminded me of, you know, like actual clown Pennywise. How he used to do, like he did that multiple times in the first film, where he's just running up to the camera a bit, like that really stupid sort of thing. That. You can't see what we were doing there, but
it was a very good Pennywise impression.
So after that, we get the Losers Club. The adult.
We do. We get the first shot of the Losers Club, minus Eddie and Stan, which
we.
I think personally that this is going to be one of the ending shots of the film.
I was thinking they would look a bit more sort of bruised and cut up, but they all look like completely fine. But it's kind of a coincidence that Stan and Eddie aren't there. So we immediately noticed that there were 5 adults, but there are 7 of the young kids. So when they do the reflection in the shop window or whatever it is, we do see the 7 kids, but then there's 5 adults. So we
draw from that what you will.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone with half a brain can figure out what's happened. Let's just say that.
So we were going frame by frame, as we said, but it was very difficult. Like, we kept like sort of stabbing at the spacebar to try and get every shot we could see and make out what we thought of it. We saw an article saying that there was going to be gallons of blood, like you've never seen this much blood in a film, and we were saying, like, can it really be worse than the Evil Dead remake? Can it be worse than what we already saw with Bev in the sink in the first film? But it does look like a lot of blood, and that is definitely Bev.